Hey, fourth graders. So this is your math video for 2-12. You are in for a treat. Let's share. Guess where we're jumping today? Today, we are doing 2x2s. This is pretty incredible. I'm not going to be using the math book. We will use the math book when we're together later this morning when we're live. We'll take a peek at some models in there. So what I am going to use this is going to, believe it or not, be a quick little video. I just want to give you kind of a heads up. So I'm going to go ahead, put today's date. It's the 22nd, October 22nd, and these are going to be 2 by 2. You could also think of these as 2 by 2 multiplication problems. What does that mean? I bet you already know. I'm going to put these in parentheses because that looks kind of odd, doesn't it? 2 by 2. All right, so we have been doing 1 by 2. We have been doing 1 by 3. Those problems look something like this. Right? You should recognize these problems. As we've learned the shortcut method, we've begun to write them in a more traditional way, kind of the way that I was taught, your parents were probably taught, and now you are practicing the 1 by 2 and the 1 by 3. Well, today I'm going to start showing you area models for 2 by 2. Let's take a look at what that looks like, okay? These were just examples. Here's a 2 by 2. I'm going to write the problem going across. 24 times 57. Wow, that is a really big math problem, right? So it looks like this if it's written horizontally. When we write it in a more traditional way, it doesn't matter which number goes on the top or the bottom now, because they both have 2 digits. It will look like that. Now, just like we started when we were learning these types, we will get to this shortcut method, but we're not ready for that yet. We're going to start with our area models. Let's do it. This time, being that it's a 2 by 2, I'm going to make sure that my rectangle is larger, meaning thicker. Okay? It doesn't have to be super long because we only have 2 places, meaning when we break it apart into its 1s and 10s, I only need my model to get a 10 and a 1. However, now both parts are going to have the 10 and the 1, right? So I now also have to cut my model in half this way, okay? So as you're drawing these, make sure that they're thick enough, okay? So what I'm going to think of over here, I'm going to take my first number. Doesn't really matter which number. I'm going to circle it to hold it over here. I'm going to break it up. There are 2 10s. 2 10s makes 20 plus what's left in the 1s is 4. This now shows me 20 plus 4 is 24, okay? I'm going to highlight because that's our first factor, okay? Now, our second number in our equation is a 57. I'm going to put it over here, kind of hanging up in the air. I can highlight it. Now, I also want to think about place value, and I'm going to break this part. I'm going to expand it, right? We stretch it out. I'll start with the 10s. There are 5 10s. That will be 50 plus what's left in the 1s. There are 7. So let's put a 7 down. This is now setting myself up for my area model. Now remember, this one is the place value section. So we've got now 4 sections that we're going to have to make. Let's start. I'm going to do it just kind of like a multiplication table. I'm going to take 20 times 50. Let's write it down. 20 times 50 equals. I know that 2 times 5 is 10, and there are 2 more zeros to add from each of the numbers. 1, 2, 3, comma, so it equals 1,000. Okay, let's go just as if we were doing a 1 by 2 area model. 20 times 7. 20 times 7. I know 2 times 7 is 14. There's just one 10 this time, so just 1 0, 140. Okay? Now this is the different part. This is going into our second layer. So now the 20 is done. Now I'm going to go ahead and do each of these 2 sections. The 4 will go out to each. Let's write it. 4 times 50. I know 4 times 5 is 20. There's just 1 10, so there's 1 0, so it makes it 200. Okay? Then I'm going to do my last section. 4, these are all the ones, times 7, hopefully you know that nice and quickly, is 28. All right, you guys, so now all we're going to have to do, we just found all of our partial products. We did all of the sections. Let's start with the largest because that'll help us line it up. I'm making sure that my places are really organized. We'll end with that one. And now I have a large addition problem to do. Let's do it. This is an 8, 4 and 2 is 6, 2 and 1 is 3, and 1. 1,368 is what I got when I did it all together. I broke it up, and that is a 2 by 2 using an area model. So exciting. Place value sections. I really like that one. We're going to do one more, and then that's going to be it for this little lesson. Okay? Here we go. Let me make a problem. Remember, this is a 2 by 2. This time I'm going to do 65 times 23. Okay? 2 by 2. Eventually, it will look like 65. This will be where we get to with the shortcut method, but for now, we're going to go ahead and use our area model. Again, I'm going to make sure that it's thick enough. I'm going to do it a little longer this time so that I can write the equations all the way across. Okay, so because each of my numbers is 2 digits, each part has to be cut into the 2 sections for my 10s and my 1s. My 10s and my 1s. Okay, let's do it. 65, that's going to be my first number. I'm going to break it up by places. There are 6 10s, so that's 60 plus the 1s, there are 5. 60 plus 5 makes 65. That's why it looks like that, okay? My second number, my second factor is 23. Let's break it up. 2 10s makes 20 plus 3 1s left over. 20 plus 3 makes 23. All right, now we're going to do each section. I'm going to pretend like this section is not even here. Just imagine you're doing a small area model, a 1 by 2. That's what I would highly recommend. Don't get fooled by all of this, okay? So we're going to do 60 times 20. Let's write it out. 60 times 20. I know 6 times 2 is 12. And there are 2 numbers in the 10, so we have there 2 zeros, so it's 1,200. Okay, remember, I'm just looking like it's this kind of an area model, a 1 by 2. 60 times 3. Let's write it out. 60 times 3. I know 6 times 3 is 18. 1 number in the 10, so there is 1 0. 180. All right, now we're going to cover up these guys. And actually, I could put the 20 and the 3 down here, couldn't I? And I could put the 60 and the 5 down here if I really wanted to. All right, 5 times 20. So let's write it out. I know 5 times 2 is 10. 1 number's in the 10, so there's 1 0. It equals 100. And my last, my 2 ones, 5 times 3. Let's write it out. And hopefully you know that that's 15. That's an easy one. I'm going to go and highlight my products, my partial products. Now, all I have left to do is add them all up. Here we go. I'm going to start with the largest. 1,200. 180, keeping it organized, 100, and 15. Lining them all up. I'm going to add, and here we go. I add my numbers up. 5, 8, and 1 is 9, 2, 3, 4, and 1. 1,495. So that was another 2 by 2 using an area model. That's the place value sections. All right, we'll do more practice when I see you.